right, folks, welcome to the channel. This is Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I react to non-pop country music. And you saw the title in the group, the Malpass Brothers. That's how I say it. Some might say Malpass, but I say Malpass Brothers. If This House Could Talk. And it's a gift request of the great, the wonderful, the Nashvilleian Randall Fryer. So thank you, my friend, for this. And Randall said that this is a cover of Stonewall Jackson's 1969 hit. So I was like, man, the title of this song sounds familiar. Have I done this one before? So what I did was, and I'll read them to you, the songs that have the words "this house" in it. So I ran it through my Word document. So the first song that I had done with that title in it, which was about 7 years ago, was Lyle Lovett's "Step Inside This House." Nobody had requested it. I gave it a 9.2. And then about a year and a half, 2 years later, I did Joey Green's "This House Ain't Big Enough." And that was requested by Jacob Herricks. And I did not rate that one. Then maybe 6 months, a year later, I did Shenandoah's "Ghost in This House." Danny Sims had made a gift to the channel for me to do that, and I gave it a 9.7. And then about 3 years later, Fun Ronnie made a gift to the channel for me to do Alison Krauss's rendition of "Ghost in This House." And I gave that one a 9.8. So the "this houses" have it. So anyway, there's my little spiel on this house. So if this house could talk, it would say, hey, I'm a pretty good house because I get good ratings. All right, Randall, let's see what we got here. I love Country Road TV. They're so good.
If this house could talk, oh, what a story. Although it's only made of wood and stone, how it would brag about its days of glory when it almost became a happy home.
Almost.
I just came back in town to sign the paper. The house is sold now, it's no longer mine. And since the place I built for you once meant so much to me, thought I'd drop by and see it one more time.
I get
parked
that.
the car, got out and looked it over.
I'm reliving my own life in this one so far. Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's kind of fun. I laugh about stuff now. I mean, especially if you're going through a tough time right now like this, it hurts so bad, but believe me, it gets better. And then eventually you might even be able to look back on some of the things and either laugh or just be like, all right, that's the ludicrousness of life. I didn't plan it. I didn't script it. I wouldn't have scripted it that way. That's the way it went. So got to have a sense of humor about some things. But I'm reliving parts of my life right here.
The unkept lawn now seems so strange to me. That rammed rose that I set out with tender care had died, and weeds grow now where flowers used to be.
Yeah.
I walked up close, looked through the picture window. The past was oh so clear as I looked through. I listened close and almost heard those tender words of love as I sat by the fireside with you.
Yeah, you have the good memories too.
Although it's only made of wood and stone, how it would brag about its days of glory.
I hate that word almost. Well, it was a happy home at one point because he even referenced that vignette when he looked through the window when he saw him by the fire. That he was by the fireplace, she was by the fireplace, and what did he say? He was saying like "I love you" or whatever. But I guess it didn't completely become a happy home. I, the imagery here where he said when I decided to go see the home one more time, so I pulled up. I didn't. What did he say? I didn't recognize the unkept lawn. And yeah, then you go up, you look in the window, and you don't know what memories are going to come back to you when you look in the window because there are so many memories in every room of the house that it could be a good one, it could be a bad one. But when there's a breakup, you can remember a bad memory looking through the window, and then you feel kind of like a sense of relief. Okay, it's over. It's this sort of like polarity reversal of what you might expect. But when you look through the window and you get a happy memory, like, oh, that's where we were sitting by the fireplace holding hands and it was just a beautiful, peaceful evening, then you're like, oh, but it's over. And so now your mind goes to, and that sucks. And then you might play the blame game. You might not play the blame game, but then you're left with, wow, the good times are definitely over. When you're thinking about the bad times being over, you're like, okay, there's a little sense of relief. But the overall feeling of bewilderment about why it didn't work, the confusion about why it didn't work, because anybody who's been around long enough and at least has some sense of themselves knows they're partly to blame in the narrative of their own life. Maybe greatly to blame, maybe minorly to blame, but somewhere in there, you played a part in what didn't work. And that's where the confusion sets in. People who are unfair minded will say, that person, he's terrible or she's terrible, and this and that. And those folks are very. They're not short sighted. They're just very. They're not looking at things honestly because it does almost always take two to tango in a breakup. It just does. That's where it gets confusing though, because then you're like, all right, cause and effect. Where did things start to break down? Because we were so deeply in love at some point. And then, so was it something I'm unaware of that I didn't, and then that kind of like set the butterfly effect in motion? Could it have stopped? How could I have stopped it? How could she? How could he? Blah, blah, all this stuff. And it gets confusing. And then at some point, you may not even know. You might not. And that's unsettling. Sometimes I think that, if there is not an evil scientist, but in philosophy, you study the notion of being a brain in a vat. Like, how do you know you're not a brain in a vat being fed stimuli that is creating these illusions of feelings and sights and thoughts and all these things? And different people over the millennia have tried, or certainly the last couple of centuries, to try to come up with different proofs for it and all that. But sometimes I wonder, like, how there are bacteria in a dish, and the pharmaceutical companies and oncologists and all, they'll introduce certain elements into the bacteria and watch how it reacts. They do it. They'll introduce this, that, thousands, millions of different strains of something they'll introduce into it, or mice, or what have you. But let's leave it for bacteria. Now, given the size of the universe, the visible, the known, as we consider it, the known universe, that might only be one trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of the actual size. I think sometimes if we humans are sort of like that, like we're kind of like bacteria, we're that small compared to everything, like what bacteria is to us. And I think, what if a being said, you know what, let's do an experiment here and give these people dreams, like hopes. Okay. Like trees don't have hopes, as far as I know. I don't know if lions and animals like that have hopes. But let's give this species hope and expectations. And then let's see how it plays out. And then somewhere else, you give them hopes, expectations, and demands. and whatever. Like you could do all these myriad experiments, if you will, or you could just do thought experiments. Like we make ourselves miserable. Like we go back to the homes that we were at to see, why am I leaving? You try to explain it to yourself. You take up a lot of your waking hours trying to understand it. You revisit it in your mind. Do zebras do that? I don't know. Do they suffer? I mean, elephants suffer. I mean, there have been people who've studied that and they have memories. I mean, we talk about it, and they even cry. But what is it about being human? It's, we're used to it. It's all we know, but it's a complicated mess. All right. So the philosophical flight of fancy notwithstanding, they really, really just nailed this song. Their tonal quality. I love the steel and fiddle in this, of course, or violin. Really, it was played like a violin more than a fiddle. But their harmonies were beautiful, and there was something about the way they sang it that made this song resonate deeply. And I suppose it's because I have experience in some ways that's very similar to this. And I owned a home that was built in 1885. It was about 3,500 square feet. It was a fixer-upper, and I fixed it up. My ex he did a lot of work too, but I did a lot of the painful work of being on my hands and knees, restoring the flooring and ripping stuff up and doing this and then up in the ceiling and replacing pipes and all that. And then to walk away from it, you look back and you're like, oh God, it just, but you do, you move along. Randall, you got me going on this one too. This is a heck of a day. I didn't get much sleep last night, so maybe that's the key to me getting going on a lot of stuff is don't sleep much. So I'm going to rate this song. And the number that popped into my head, as simple as it seems this song was a 9.8. That's a hell of a song right there, Randall. Now I have images in my mind. I don't know if animals have images in their minds about things that went wrong. Or do they just move on? I don't know. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to leave that one be. Thanks for hanging in there with me. And Randall, thank you, my friend. I may be down in Nashville in a month or so. So we'll meet up, no doubt about it. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.
I just came back in town to sign the paper. The house is sold now, it's no longer mine.